When I told myself that I would be coming back to this game, I never thought it would be about 4 years later. Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome back to the world of Pokemon Stadium. It's been a while since I've played this. I left you guys on a cliffhanger that at some point I'd be back to this game to do the other cups with brand new teams. I'm going to be honest with you guys, that never happened. I never got around to creating new teams. I just, it just got to the point where it was really difficult. I couldn't find time to make teams. Team building in Pokemon is, maybe not a lengthy process, but it is one that you have to put a lot of thought into. And then you also kind of run into the problem of, well, if you don't create a good enough team, you can't actually progress. So I held off on that and never got around to it, and as a result, I never got back to this game. So that was a shame that I never did that, but at the same time, I haven't forgotten about this. I have been thinking about ways to get back into this, and I think I have a solution finally. So, well, let's get back to the actual stadium first so I can start talking about this. To give you guys an idea, when I was at this project the first time, I basically just did the Prime Cup, and I also did the Gym Leader Castle, finished that up as well, but I did leave these 3 other tournaments alone. I left alone the Petit Cup, the Pika Cup, and the Poke Cup. Now, for the other cups, I used my team from Pokemon Blue. When I did my Let's Play of that game, I just imported my team from that game after I raced in level 100, and I took care of all the challenges in that fashion, and I really liked the way I did that. I think at some point I am going to do the same thing with Pokemon Silver and my Pokemon Gold team. Or, no. Pokemon Stadium 2 and my Gold team. But for these other cups, because my Pokemon are high leveled, I can't actually use them for these other cups. As you can see, they have level restrictions, and there are also some other restrictions as well. So yeah, I can't use my team for that, which is what required me to create some new teams for these specific cups. And as you guys know, I never got around to doing that. However, you don't necessarily have to actually use your own teams to compete in these cups. You can actually use rental Pokemon. So as my compromise for you guys, because there are 2 rounds of Pokemon Stadium, Round 1 and Round 2, I've just completed the Round 1 variations of Prime Cup and the Gym Leader Castle. For the rest of Round 1, I'm going to use rentals, and then maybe for Round 2, I will make another attempt at creating teams for those particular tournaments. And I'm going to actually allow you guys to give me some input. So if you have any suggestions for teams you want me to use for the Round 2 variations of Petit Cup, Poke Cup, and Pika Cup, now would be a good time to actually give your suggestions in the comments section. And yeah, just kind of give me some ideas of Pokemon I should look into using. Whether they're specific Pokemon, whether they're specific Pokemon with specific movesets. And that's the other difficulty with creating Pokemon teams, because for a lot of Pokemon in Gen 1, you have to use TMs, and a lot of TMs in Gen 1 are one use only. So after you use the TM, like for a really, really good move, you'll have to play through the game again to get another TM, and that's another unfortunate part and aspect of creating teams. But I do have all 3 versions of the Pokemon Generation 1 games, so I can do that. It just will take a lot of time, as I've already mentioned. So yeah, give me your suggestions. I'd love to hear them, and I'll start working on that. I might even do some grinding streams where I actually work on that for you guys, so you can actually watch me create the teams. But I feel like I've talked enough. I've been talking for 4 minutes, and I think you guys want to see some actual battling. So I'm going to go ahead and get things started. We're going to be going to the Poke Cup. Like the Prime Cup, the Poke Cup has 4 different levels: the Pokeball Cup, the Great Ball Cup, the Ultra Ball Cup, and the Master Ball Cup. The Petit and Pika Cups do not have these levels. You just immediately jump into like a 1-round tournament, which is nice. But yeah, for Poke Cup, we do have to do a lot of work again. And for the rules of Poke Cup, or yeah, the Poke Cup, these are the conditions. So, blue panels, so qualifying Pokemon, only 149 Pokemon can actually be used. You cannot use Mewtwo or Mew in this tournament. Enter with 6 Pokemon, so once again you pick 6 Pokemon. For each battle you choose 3 of the 6 Pokemon. The Pokemon levels must range from level 50 to 55, but the maximum of 3 Pokemon you use on one team of 3 must not exceed 155. So you can't use like 3 level 55s because that'll be not that. That'll be like 165. So you'd be like 10 levels overboard. You'd have to use like a 55 and 2 50s in that case. No 2 Pokemon asleep or frozen, so you can't have Pokemon that are sleeping and frozen at the same time. You cannot attend, obviously, by that rule. And get a continue for a perfect match. Perfect match is when you get through an entire battle without losing a single Pokemon. And you cannot use self-destruct move with last Pokemon. So there we go. That's the those are the Poke Cup rules. Now we can get into battling. But as you guys know, I do not have a registered set of Pokemon for this cup, so I have to use rentals. To briefly explain rentals, you can essentially use any Pokemon you want. The problem with using any Pokemon you want, though, is that, well, the Pokemon themselves have unique moves and stats. And there's some Pokemon who have, like, for instance, in a 3 evolution, like the Bulbasaur line, like Venusaur has some interesting moves, but you may want to take Ivysaur instead, because Ivysaur has Razor Leaf, which is, I think, the best grass move. So you have to still kind of judge between these Pokemon, which one you want. I think stats are also a little different. Maybe not in terms of stats like here. Like, obviously, the stats for these Pokemon will rise as they get bigger in the evolution line. But again, you have more interesting movesets to work with. Like, even Bulbasaur looks mildly decent compared to Ivysaur. But honestly, I'd rather use these two over Venusaur just because, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of just having Solar Beam as my main grass move when Razor Leaf exists. And yeah, there are some rentals that kind of suck. So you have to kind of pick your team, make sure you have all your bases covered, and just kind of choose a team that you think is going to work for this particular cup. With Poke Cup Pokeball class, it shouldn't be too hard. But still, I'm going to take some time, figure out who I'm going to use, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I picked a pretty basic team. I picked each of the starters. I picked Wartortle over Squirtle because I liked his moveset a little bit better than Squirtle, and just to have like a, you know, little stronger water type, I guess. And then I also brought Pikachu for some electric moves. I brought Pidgeotto to have a flyer, and I brought Clefairy as a normal type. So yeah, I used a lot of non-evolved Pokemon. There are, like, some good evolved Pokemon. I didn't have to just stick to the lower forms. But I feel like for this first cup, the Pokeball Poke Cup, it shouldn't be that bad. So I think we'll be just fine moving on. So let's go ahead and get this started. Anyway, we have our first opponent here. We're dealing with we're dealing with 2 Nidorans, an Ekans, Hitmonlee, Machop, and a Mankey. So, well, Psychic will absolutely ruin this team. So I'm going to bring Clefairy as my starter, since Clefairy actually knows Psychic. I'll go over all the movesets as we go through this. And I'll also bring Pidgeotto for the fighting types. And again, doesn't really matter what else I bring, honestly. I guess I'll bring Charmander. But yeah, I mean, to be expected. I mean, this is not going to be a really hard fight, to be honest.
Pokeball. We have a large contingent of Pokemon with a bewildering mix of moves.
Let's go ahead and look at our moveset for Clefairy. This is why I definitely want to bring Clefairy here. Clefairy has Psychic, it has Body Slam, it has Thunderbolt, and it has Blizzard. Such a really, really, really good moveset, to be honest. So this is going to be, I don't want to say a sweep, but we're going to be doing some hard damage here. Because we're dealing with level 50 Pokemon, oh, this will actually hurt quite a bit. Well, so much for my Clefairy stealing the show here. Well, I guess we'll use Pidgeotto then. And we're not going to get a perfect here either. Given, Submission's a really strong move. It was bound to do some good damage. Even if it didn't crit, I think Clefairy still would have probably died. So, yeah, that was probably just a poor matchup in general. But, you know, I saw Psychic. I thought that would have been enough. I guess not.
What's this? Oops, that's
you gotta keep in mind that stuff. For a minute, I was forgetting that. Oh wait, Clefairy is Clefairy's a normal type. That wouldn't have been so great. And sure enough, it wasn't. But Fly is also a really powerful move. It's gonna take out these. Well, I don't want to say lower levels since we're all at the same level here, but it's gonna take out those non-evolved fighting types really, really quickly. And yeah, this is where I wish I would have had Clefairy now, since I don't have a great way to take out the poison types, unfortunately. I'm going to try using Takedown here. It will do some recoil damage, but well, also miss. That's not good. Body Slam's not going to do too much, though. Okay, well, let's just try that again. I'm not going to use Fly for, like, all the frickin' Pokemon. Takedown should do decent damage. It did more than half. It's good enough to finish this off. Oh, God!
Vigorous attack. Oh, it's frozen solid. How will this freeze a
Wow, am I going to... Guess I'm going to Charmander. My God, this team is not messing around. I think I made a good team. It's just,
what'll it do?
Oh man, yeah, that's the thing though. Like you don't know what the Pokemon are gonna have unless like you have a guide or something. So, yeah, I mean stuff like that can happen. You can run into a super powerful female Nidoran. That's just part of the. Those are the breaks, I guess. I think I should be okay though, regardless of what happens. Who are you gonna use? Okay, Ekans. The thing is though, Pidgeotto is frozen right now, so we have that to worry about. I'm just gonna use straight up Flamethrower. I could use Fire Spin to get the aforementioned Wrap Hacks in. Which I... Oh, come on! Okay, good. Man, this fight is ridiculous. This fight is stupid. We won, but oh my god, that was... I don't even know how to even process that. Maybe we'll have better luck for the next one. I need to keep that in mind, that, okay, so I gotta think about my Pokemon's weaknesses in addition to their strengths. That's kind of what messed me up right there. Okay, so next we're going to move on to battle number 2. Looks like we have a Rocker, and, okay. So, let's see, what do we have here? We have Voltorb, Magnemite, Pikachu. Then we also have Bellsprout, Bulbasaur, and Oddish. Okay, I think I can say, with all due confidence, that Charmander should be fine for this as a starting out. As far as others, I'll bring Pidgeotto, and I'll also bring... I guess I'll just bring the same once again. Charmander's definitely the star of this fight, this first fight, for sure. Okay, so as you can see from Charmander's moveset, he does have Dig. I was definitely really excited about that because Dig's just a really good move. It does really, really strong ground damage, and considering that we're dealing with a bunch of electric types, this will be pretty good for me. Now, with that being said, it will definitely help if I actually get all of my attacks in. Wow, he actually... That surprises me that he survived that. Now, I gotta keep in mind that, you know, the reason it didn't one-shot for definite certainty is Charmander is a fire type, not a ground type, so he's not going to get the same type attack bonus that like a ground type would have with Dig. But still, I think Dig is still a very powerful move. I think that Magnemite just had a lot of defense, and that's probably what made the difference. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be... The grass types are going to be easy. Because now that we are using Flamethrower, we will get the same type attack bonus from that. Although that still didn't kill it. Well, I guess Special could have been decently high, I suppose. Again, there's a lot of factors you gotta consider. It's not as easy as you use this move, you win. In some cases, yeah, that could probably be the case, but not in all cases. I also feel like, in general, rental Pokemon are just weaker than, like, Pokemon you trade over from the actual games. Like, I feel like if I raised a level 50 Charmander myself, it'd be a lot stronger than this. At least in my opinion. Can I say that for certainty? Obviously not, but that's what I feel like anyway. We are going to get a perfect here, though, so that's good. That critical does not bother me. And just for fun, let's show off Slash. So yeah, that fight went a lot better than the first one. So I didn't have to deal with submission. I didn't get frozen. I didn't fight basically a Pokemon that had like a strong move against every single one of my Pokemon. Oh god. I also gotta continue though, so if I lose a battle I basically have another shot at it. Okay. What do we have now? For this fight we have a Drowsy, we have Ghastly, we have Hitmonchan, we have Machoke, we have Geodude, and we have a Clefairy of their own. So this is going to be a little more difficult. What should I do here? Once again, Psychic would be a good move to have here. I feel like Drowsy might be a bit of an issue, so I'm going to need someone with high special, I think. And I can actually check the stats and everything. What's my highest special right now? Oh wow, Bulbasaur is actually my highest special. But see, that's not going to be good against some of the types we have here. Let's see. Just checking. Okay, I'm gonna put Pidgeotto, Bulbasaur, and I guess Wartortle. I really hope he does not use Geodude first. Okay, well that's not Geodude. That's good. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I'll just use Fly to start. Drowsy is very slow, so I'll be able to get some hits on him. But I don't think Fly is going to actually hit him in one shot. Because Drowsy is pretty bulky for a, well, defensively anyway.
They're just trading warning blows now.
Drowsy's honestly like the one team member I'm kind of worried about.
A savage hit.
Especially considering I did not
What now?
I did not take away half of his damage. And I am gonna fall asleep, which is also not great. I wonder if Drowsy actually has Dream Eater. If he does, that could be bad, so I'm gonna actually risk it and go to Wartortle.
Combatants face each other. Oh, there's going to be a change of Pokemon.
I just hope Drowsy does not have like a Thunder move or something. Okay, good.
What will it do?
So see, that was pretty strategic. I had a feeling he was going to try to use Dream Eater right there.
How will
And
this
I'm just going to
Pokemon
surf.
fight?
Just going to try to pile up as much damage as I can on him. He has decent special, but I feel like Drowsy is more defensive. And it still didn't do the damage I wanted to. Oh wow, Metronome.
What's this?
I guess he was probably hoping for a
Hit.
Thunder or Grass move.
One still raring to go, but the
Oh,
opponent
It's
appears
funny
to
that
be
he did not get that. Let's use Ice Beam to finish it off.
Ice Beam. Goodness.
Getting kind of worried that maybe that wouldn't have done enough damage, but I thought I was fine.
We're waiting.
If you know the base power of certain moves, you can kind of figure out how much damage they're going to do. Ice Beam is fairly strong. Fairly, anyway.
How will the type
Okay,
difference
Clefairy.
affect They go into battle poses.
Let's try Surf here.
There it goes. Major damage.
That did more than half of his HP, so that's good. Oh, I guess this is the Metronome team.
Missed the target.
That's interesting.
Sparks are flying in this
Yeah, there's always like some kind of theme for all the teams that we'll be fighting.
savage attack.
Whether it's in terms of like what kind of Pokemon they are, what their typings are. Sometimes they'll have like moves that they'll try to focus more on. There's also like, we did this in like when I was in the playthrough before, but there was that one team that had all one-hit KO moves. That's an example of the type of teams you can see. Also, look at this purple Geodude. This Geodude being the one reason why I didn't bring Pikachu, because I had a feeling that he could potentially bring this out.
It's a one-hit wonder. And there goes the battle.
Okay, there we go. Alright, perfect again. And another extra continues, so that's good. When you get to like gyms or the 6th, 7th, and 8th matches, those are when the matches get kind of difficult from what I remember. Let's bring out Bulbasaur. Pikachu I think would be really good for this one, and Wartortle for the Rock and Ground types.
The crowd's excitement is building.
Okay, so who are we going to deal with first? Q-Body. I like that name. So this is Bulbasaur's moveset. We have Razor Leaf, Leech Seed, Toxic, and Body Slam. If I did wish for one thing, I kind of wish for maybe a sleep move, because if he would be able to put him to sleep, I could kind of do the Leech Life on him, or Leech Seed on him, and then kind of get damage over time. But these battles generally won't be as like long as other battles will be. Although it's kind of weird, because I feel like a lot of battles in the Prime Cup, for example, they were actually fairly quick, because like my Pokemon were super powerful. But at the same time, I feel like all the Pokemon would have been powerful, because they're at level 100. They have the stats and they have the HP to last. But here, like, yeah, they don't have as much HP, but you're also not as strong, so it's hard to tell if these matches are faster or not. It'll definitely be interesting when we get to the Pika Cup. That's when I think the results will definitely vary a lot. Also, yeah, my Bulbasaur is kicking ass right now. Not that I'm surprised. Okay, I'm not surprised that Staryu got the minimized there. Staryu seems like it would be faster than Bulbasaur. And yep, okay. This is where this fight could get a little annoying. Used Surf of all things. I find that a weird move to use because Staryus can learn ice attacks and it can learn psychic attacks too, so I feel like that could have been a good choice of move if it had it, but it may have not had that. But yeah, that was quick. Bulbasaur owned that fight. I still love how the first fight was my hardest fight so far. Every other match since then has gotten easier. And we are halfway done. We are now ready for the Soul Gym, or the Fuchsia Gym.